What you got there, girl? Give me that. Give me that, girl. Oh, oh, yeah. She's a tough one. Oh, ah. Ready, jump it. Middle, front, heel. Wait for eye contact. Yes. To flip into it, girl. You like to flip into it? You got your leg all right there. And your tail. Leg and the tail. Oh, oh. Ready, jump it. Okay. Um, let's see. Maybe I need to knock out what I was thinking about for. Okay. So I haven't had to deal with a lot of actually any resource guarding for toys. Supposedly Molly did, but I haven't seen it. Now we don't have toys out and about either. So, but uh, one of the girls I like a lot, she said tugging is the best thing for it. You're putting everything on a cue, right? So she needs to be able to drop it. Good. So in other words, it would be okay. Always on your axis. And I don't know how she teaches her out, but I have with not really resource guarding, but dogs that overly possess it. Instead of doing a trade first, I do pressure first. Okay, right, and then I get to trade after that. And I actually saw a video of somebody that this girl called herself a behavior expert. See that cat over there? But I've seen some of her stuff, and I'm like, whatever, dude. And she never shows her work. So, are you really? She just talks all the time. Give me that. Right. So, in other words, I'm thinking. So, dogs that are possessive, not really guarders of it, I'll do pressure first, right? So I'll go drop it, and then pull that pressure, and then let it go. Now, does that work for resource guarders? I don't know, because then so first it's pressure until they understand. So it's negative reinforcement. You're applying pressure until they let go of the toy. The pressure comes off. It's negative reinforcement because you're trying to get them to let go of the toy. Okay. Always look. Require eye contact for the okay. Right. Right. Did he jump it? And then it becomes the like so. At first, you say drop it, apply pressure. Pressure comes off. Right. Then you work. So sometimes you gotta use pressure or corrections. So I wouldn't use corrections in that. I don't think. I don't know. Um, okay. Yeah. Right. So then the other exercise she did was this. Drop it. Good. Come on, heel. She would be walking with him. Come on. She would be walking with him, and anytime the dog goes for the toy, nope, and she'd block him. Come on, like this. Nope. Okay. And then she would go into play once he settled down. Like right there, she was running. She would wait till he settled. Like if he's like popping up, going for the toy, nope. And then she'd drop the toy on the ground, and then they'd be walking by the toy. She'd go, nope. And then she would pick up the toy and go, okay, right? So that was the progression of what I. Now again, I don't know how she started it. So okay, but that's the exercises I saw her, and I think she said they were about a month in when she was at that point. That was specifically the toys. Ready? She said he was a resource guard at toys and food. Right, so the tugging was because you're putting everything is you have to ask for access to any kind of resource from the person. Uh, what else have I seen in regards to toys? I think that's it. But you start with more of a, let's call it authoritarian way than just trade. Like normally I always try trading first. Sometimes they won't trade, even if so I've had one or two that even with the same exact toy, they wanted the one that was in their mouth. They weren't garters, but they didn't want to trade for the toy. So I had to use pressure first, right? And then they get the idea of it, and then boom. Using pressure is just negative reinforcement. And negative just means taking something away. It doesn't mean bad. Here, give me that. Give me that. Drop it. Drop it. Give it. Right. Come on. Ready, heel. Good girl. Middle. What is that? That's a half-ass. Middle. There you go. Okay. Right. So, get it. That's all I've seen for resource guarding with toys. And resource guarding with toys, I don't think food's gonna work. Like, I would think the force-free people would be like, "There's the toy, look at it, and then disengage." They would do the disengage game from it, but I've never seen any of their work. Never seen any of those guys' work, so I don't know. And if oh, that's the other part. If they're like resource guarding that stuff at puppy ages, that means it's genetic, right? So sometimes we can teach them to be resource guarders by always taking it away, never letting them have it, right? Stuff like that. But the genetic ones, them are harder. Are you gonna poop? You gonna pee again, girl? Because it's their genetics, right? So if somebody has taught them to be inadvertently taught them to be uh, a resource guarder, I think it's pretty easy to work out. Easy to work out. Whereas the genetic guys, it's a lot harder. Are you done? Forget about that squirrel, girl. Get this, this. All right, we're going walking then. Probably about time, anyways. Do 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 do. Right, right. So everything they can't make their own decisions for a while. Everything has to be your say, your go. Which doesn't mean you don't let them have the stuff. It's just got to be on permission. All right. Anyways, that's my understanding from what I've seen, from the stuff I've seen.